They didn't always kill captured queens. Sometimes they did something worse. Something that erased who the queen had been without spilling a drop of blood. When people imagine Viking raids, they picture fire, steel, and screaming villages. But the most dangerous moment didn't always happen on the battlefield. It happened after the fighting stopped. Because when a queen was taken alive, she became more than a prisoner. She became a problem. Killing her could spark endless revenge. Letting her go could restore an enemy kingdom. And keeping her changed everything. The Vikings lived in a world where honor mattered more than mercy, and power mattered more than kindness. So the question wasn't what could they do to a captured queen, but what choice would hurt their enemies the most. And the answers were never simple. Imagine the silence after a raid. The ships are pulled onto shore. Smoke drifts across the water. Among the captives is a woman who does not beg. She stands straight. Her clothes are torn, but her posture gives her away. Everyone knows who she is. A queen. In the Viking world, rank didn't disappear with defeat. It followed you into captivity like a shadow. She is separated from the others, not out of respect, but caution, because a queen still holds power, even without an army. She is questioned, but not tortured. Not yet. They want to know her value. Who would pay for her return? Who would break treaties to get her back? Who would risk another war? For days or weeks, she is kept alive, fed just enough, watched constantly, not in chains, but never alone.
Look how calm she
And
is.
during this time, something deliberate happens.
She walks among us.
She is
yet
made
is
visible.
untouched.
The Vikings were masters of humiliation as a weapon. They understood that shame could travel farther than fear. A captured queen might be displayed during gatherings, seated lower than free women, served last, spoken over, not struck, not screamed at. Just quietly stripped of authority, piece by piece.
Look
Each
how
small
proud she
act
is.
sends a message to the world she
The
came
White
from.
Christ could not save
Your
her.
ruler stands beneath us now. But humiliation was only one path. Sometimes the decision went in a colder direction. Marriage, not a romantic one, a strategic one. A queen could be forced into a union that erased her past alliances. Her bloodline would now serve her captors. Her children would not belong to her old kingdom. To the Vikings, this was not cruelty. It was efficiency. A queen who became a wife could no longer be a rallying symbol for rebellion. Her former people could not easily rise for someone who now shared a table with their enemies. She wasn't beaten into submission. She was absorbed. And that terrified rival rulers far more than execution ever could. Other queens were never meant to stay. They became currency. But not in the simple sense of ransom. Negotiations could last months, sometimes years. During that time, the queen lived in uncertainty, never knowing if she would be returned, traded, or forgotten.
They took her
Every
during the
delay
night.
weakened her authority
The
back
throne
home.
is empty.
Every rumor damaged her
Banners are
image.
coming down.
By the time she returned,
choose a
if
side.
she returned, she was no longer the woman who had left. The Vikings understood something brutal about power. You don't have to destroy a ruler to end her reign. You just have to let doubt grow. There were darker possibilities, too. In rare cases, a captured queen was tied to belief. The Vikings believed fate was woven, not chosen, and sometimes captives became part of ritual thinking. Not sacrifice in the dramatic way stories often exaggerate, but symbolic control. A queen's presence could be used to mark victory. Her survival could be seen as proof that the gods favored the conquerors. Or her death, quiet, unrecorded, could be framed as fate fulfilled. No spectacle, no legend, just disappearance. And in a world without records, disappearance was a weapon. The most chilling part, many of these choices were made calmly, around fires, between meals, as practical decisions. The queen was not always hated. She was evaluated. What brings us the most advantage? What leaves our enemies weakest? What story will spread when the ships leave? That question mattered more than her screams, or her silence. For the Vikings, these choices shaped reputation. A leader who killed queens too quickly was seen as reckless. One who kept them wisely was feared. But for the queens, the damage was deeper. Even survival came with loss. A queen who returned home carried whispers behind her. Was she changed? Was she compromised? Did she still belong? Power depends on belief. And captivity cracked that belief forever. Some never returned at all. They vanished into new lands, new roles, new identities. Their old names fading with every passing winter. The Vikings didn't just conquer land. They disrupted memory. And memory was everything. Here's the part history rarely records. Some queens lived long lives after captivity. They ate, they spoke, they smiled. But no one knows what they remembered when the fires burned low at night. Because the cruelest act wasn't chains, or marriage, or even death. It was forcing a queen to live. In a world where her crown no longer existed. And somewhere beneath the northern skies, the Vikings understood that leaving someone alive could haunt an enemy far longer than killing them ever would.